गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे। मधु पंडित तेरा प्राण धन है, मधु पंडित तेरा प्राण धन है। जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे। जीव गोस्वामीर प्राण धन है, जीव गोस्वामीर प्राण धन है। जय राधा रमण राधा रमण राधे। गोपाल भट्टेर प्राण धन है, गोपाल भट्टेर प्राण धन है। जय राधा विनोद राधा विनोद राधे। लोकनाथेर प्राण धन है, लोकनाथेर प्राण धन है। जय राधा गोकुलानंदा राधा गोकुलानंद राधे। विश्वनाथेर प्राण धन है, विश्वनाथेर प्राण धन है। जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे। दास गोस्वामीर प्राण धन है, दास गोस्वामीर प्राण धन है। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। श्यामानंदेर प्राण धन है, श्यामानंदेर प्राण धन है। जय राधा बाके बिहारी राधा बाके बिहारी राधे। हरिदासेर प्राण धन है, हरिदासेर प्राण धन है। जय राधा कांता राधा कांत राधे। वक्रेश्वरेर प्राण धन है, वक्रेश्वरेर प्राण धन है। जय गंधर्विका गिरिधारी गंधर्विका गिरिधारी राधे। सरस्वतीर प्राण धन है, सरस्वतीर प्राण धन है। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much. Such a wonderful kirtan.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Let's begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So before we begin, let's pay our obeisances to Sri Radha Govinda and Srila Prabhupada. So we are doing chapter 16. We finished half the chapter, so we'll do the rest. Daivasura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. The first 6 verses talk about transcendental demoniac qualities. Summary of the chapter. Transcendental means divine qualities and demoniac qualities. This is what this chapter is all about. And then 7 to 20 is the demoniac nature. See, 7 to 20, how many verses? Krishna is focusing only on demoniac qualities. And the first 6 verses is, actually, he spends not much time. He gives a list of divine qualities, and then the rest of the chapter, so he is explaining how demoniac people behave. And then 21 to 24, the choice, escaping to the supreme destination. So actually what is happening here is Krishna is explaining the qualities of the residents of that upside down banyan tree, which he spoke about in the previous chapter. And then let's see what exactly we did, and then we can understand. This chapter is pretty simple to understand actually. Who would like to recite this one? Hare Krishna. Vinda Mataji or Vanaja Mataji. Anjali Mataji is joining a little late today. So, or there is Sumit Prabhuji is there. Anyone else? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sure, you can.
16.8 Asatyam apratishtham te jagat ahur anishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kim anyat kamahaitukam. Kamahaitukam. They say that this world is unreal, that there is no foundation, and that there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So, proud atheist. That's what is written here. So, Krishna is talking about demoniac people. They will give such big speeches, they'll pass such big comments about everything in the world, and people applaud also. They know what the people want to hear, so they'll talk all kind of things. But there won't be dharma or God or anything in it. They reject God and dharma also. They say this world is phantasmagoria. That's what Prabhupada is written. There is no cause, there is no effect. Everything is happening. Some accident is happening, and then nobody is controlling the world. Science is not really talking about the supreme personality of Godhead or soul or anything like that. So this whole world has just come just like that into existence. There's no purpose for anything. Everything is so unreal. Life is for enjoyment. All these kind of speeches they'll give. And then they'll say this whole cosmic, this universe, everything, it's all because of material actions and reactions. All material reactions. Nothing. There's no spirit. They don't really talk about that. So such people will never understand that God is a person. Because Krishna is a person, we can actually pray to him, talk to him, and through Prabhupada's teachings, we are actually able to understand the supreme personality of Godhead is a person. But with such people, it is, they will never understand that. Prabhupada has explained this in the purport. So let's see here. Their philosophy. World is unreal with no God in control. No cause other than lust. And thus this world is produced of sex. Demoniac philosophy. Okay. Can someone read this translation, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engaged in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Prabhupada says this is very, very unfortunate. He says, anyway we are going to die. It is that is the truth. We are going to give up this body. So he's saying we are already dying. These people, by doing all this, what's happening? They're expediting the process. There's no need to kill it because anyway it's going to happen. So we have to use our energy to elevate each other. But what's happening here? They are trying to destroy the other person. This is all demoniac because envy. That's what demons. They think if something is coming in their way of sense gratification, they want to destroy. And it says if minimum number of people also become Krishna conscious, what will happen? All of them understand that they are parts and parcels of the Lord, and we are here to serve the Lord and purify ourselves and go back, and there won't be need of all this war and all this, because their consciousness becomes clean, and they'll try to help each other to elevate. Everybody is focusing on their spiritual journey only, nothing else. So the problem is polluted consciousness. Why the environment is polluted? There is damage happening everywhere. That's because the consciousness is polluted. That's all effect of the consciousness. So if there is no Krishna in our activities, this is not all going to happen. Lot of anarthas will be there. So the heart is not clean, mind is not clean, and all these activities are all demoniac activities. There's no dharma here. So let's understand this. Demoniac attitude and engagements. The demoniac are lost to themselves. They're illusioned. They have no intelligence. Illusion, no intelligence, because they think to be advancing but engaged in the work that is destructive. Engagements. Engaged in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So Ugra Karma, that is called Ugra Karma. It's painful, horrible, destructive acts, all selfish acts actually. Here Arjuna is also fighting a war, but his condition is different. His activity is completely transcendental. Please read these translations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. 16.10 The demoniac, taking shelter of insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, and being thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean walk, attracted by the impermanent. 16.11-12 They believe that to gratify the senses unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, lust, and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Illicit relationship, gambling, intoxication, meat eating. Prabhupada says we have to follow the 4 regulative principles. And now we see here, same thing we are seeing in this image. So what do demoniac people want to do? They just want to enjoy their senses. They have become slaves to their mind. So what is the reason why they want to enjoy so much? Because of unwanted desires, material desires. They want to somehow, satisfy their senses. So they do it in the form of nation, family, society. You can see they want to show off. I'm this, I'm that, very pride, that the very proud, false prestige, their false ego. It's all in play. Like the 4 pillars of all kind of sinful activities are happening the way it is given here. So what happens is illicit relationship will take away the cleanliness from a person. His mind is unclean, his life will become unclean, whole everything is unclean, his consciousness. So gambling takes away truthfulness, because a person who is gambling, um, anything, even what we see on TV here and there, so many things, so many shows everywhere. That is all gambling. Taking a bet, like, will I win this much money or whatever? It's all gambling only. So sometimes these people who are doing this kind of activity, gambling, they sometimes lie. They whatever by any they want to win, they want to get money in any possible way, and one sin will lead to another. They lie, and then they'll do something, then something else, and it will all culminate into something else only. So intoxication will take away austerity. Austerity means voluntarily accepting something. Sometimes the austerity is so hard, activity will be so hard, but we accept that for our own self purification, for spiritual growth. That is austerity. But intoxication will take that away. Meat eating will take away mercy. So it's very important to follow the regulative principles that will purify ourselves, and it will prepare us to actually become perfect in our spiritual sense. Then what happens? Initiation, Prabhupada writes that also he said. So actually, when a person gets initiated, it is like another birth, holy name. Harinam initiation is like taking a vow that I will not do this, this, this. I'll follow this no matter what, I'll follow. So it's like, it's a promise It's not even a promise, it's a vow, which is very strictly followed. It is like accepting the Guru as father and Shastras as mother, Vedas as the mother. And after that, the person has to follow the rules, and that will take him closer to Krishna. Demoniac mentality, attracted by impermanent. See, all this is temporary. What is happening in this world is temporary. Because sometimes Prabhuji also says, once he was explaining, some fight starts somewhere, somebody gets involved, and they don't even know why the fight started, and they continue fighting. For the sake of fighting, they'll be fighting. And what is eternal? Where am I going after death? Who am I? All this, they cannot even understand. They're just attracted by the impermanent. Insatiable lust, unbelievably, they'll be materialistic, illusioned, and then absorbed in conceit of pride and false prestige, false ego. We can see from this image, we understand how sinful that person can be. Okay, can someone read this, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Oh, Vanaja Mataji,
No.
do you want to read? Okay, Mataji, you both can take the. Thank you so much.
The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We can read this again and again. Krishna really, is telling us, he's decoding the psychology of a person who's like this, whose consciousness is of demoniac nature. So he understands the mentality of such a person. Examples are given here. Hiranyakashipu, he did so much austerity. 10,000 years he was standing on one leg, and there was ants eating away his flesh. Insects were biting him, nothing. He stood there 10,000 years. Those days, they had long life, so they could afford to do that. But what was that austerity for? That was to become immortal. He's like, see, we know we are going to die today, tomorrow, or after 50 years. We don't know when. But he wanted to stay forever on this earth. He wanted to become God. That was his goal. So that is the mentality of a demon. Instead of serving the Lord and understanding his position, because he'll never be equal to God. Narasimhadeva appeared and showed him to meet death anyway. Kamsa was also like that. He will kill so many babies before Ram, so many babies he killed. He wanted to become the supreme.
Okay.
He wanted to become the supreme Lord. So he thought, let me kill Krishna only, and then I'll become God. So that was his mentality. Ravana also, he was a gnani actually, very knowledgeable. He wanted to build a staircase to the moon planet. That's what Prabhupada says. So when we see Sita, we know Sita belongs to Ram. That is what we usually they're together. We know they're eternal, all that. And Hanuman also saw Sita as part of Lord Ram. But how did Ravana look at her? He wanted to, enjoy. He wanted to marry her. All this, he took her away for long purpose. So that is a demon's mentality, envy and all this. How nicely, Puppet, we get to know all that. So demons want to enjoy the kingdom of God without God. It's like somebody forcefully enters into our house. They just want to enjoy our house without even our permission. And they think, they can actually stay here forever. Things like that. How irritating it will be. So that's what they are doing without cooperating with the plan, what the Lord has put in place. They want to do what they feel like doing. But devotees are not like that. They'll wake up and think, this is what I'm supposed to do today. So much service I have, everything is done for the Lord. And tomorrow I'll have this. So everything they are doing in relation to the Supreme Lord. They're more focused that way. And there is no envy. because everybody is working for the same goal. And they always wish well for everyone. Devotees never wish bad for anyone. We can see Arjuna as the example. He's standing in the battlefield and he's telling Krishna, I don't want to kill all those people on the other side because they're my relatives. And, he did not have that anger, hatred, or anything. But, Krishna will teach him that he had to stand up and fight, and why, what are the reasons, everything. He'll understand by the end of 18th chapter. Arjuna is ready to stand up and fight because he knows that's what Krishna wants him to do, and that is the whole plan. So Prahlad, and again here Hiranyakashipu's son Prahlad Maharaj also, he did not hate his father. In spite of whatever the father did, he tells when he prays to Narsimhadev, Narsimhadev tells him, "You're such a lovely child, you're such a nice boy, you're a great devotee. Tell me what you want from me. I can bless you with anything you want, ask me anything." Imagine if God comes in front of us and says this. But that boy, he says, "Can you forgive my father?" He says, "Please give him liberation. Forgive all his sins, mistakes." So Narasimhadev is very touched, such that boy, he wanted to kill his own son, and he's like, he doesn't have that same enmity towards his father. And then he says, "Not just your father, 21 generations are forgiven and liberated, don't worry." So that's how a devotee is, very pure-hearted, doesn't hate anyone, but he'll try to purify the other person. But these are all very elevated devotees. We can't compare ourselves with them. We can just follow in their footsteps. We can never, become as perfect as them. We should never anukaran, anusharan. We can take anusharan. We can never anukarana. We should not do. So he tells his father also, "Dear father." He doesn't even say dear father. No, it's very interesting. He says, "The king of demons, oh king of demons, what are you doing? Your own mind is your enemy." He says that, but Hiranyakashipu does not understand anything. He says you have to control your senses, control your mind. But he gets even more angry. He'll say, "Look at this little boy telling me what to do." So that's how it is. So nicely he wanted to teach all his friends and help his father become Krishna conscious. The divine and demoniac natures. Further description of demoniac mentality. How demoniac person thinks, deluded by ignorance. So Hiranyakashipu was ignorant. Ravana was actually, what he did was not right. So we can understand what is ignorance now. So I am the controller and the enjoyer indicates false ego, which connects spirit to matter. I am perfect and powerful. Everything is being done by my potency. When somebody wins something, they may say, "I work very hard for this. I have done this. I have achieved this." But, we should always take the humble position, because without the Lord's mercy, nothing can be achieved. We might build the most beautiful building, but if it can crumble down very easily. We don't know what's the Lord's wish. Even we know many examples like that. Titanic cannot sink, they said, but it sank, right? So things can go wrong. There is always a higher power at act. So we have to always remember that we are not as powerful as we think, because we are all parts and parcels of the Lord, and that's all we are. We are just serving him, nothing more. And when they think, "I'm perfect, I'm powerful," everything will increase. Everything is done by my potency, and everything will increase. My enemies are defeated and I'm happy. They will be very happy. They'll think anybody who comes in their way is an enemy. They don't mind killing them also. They'll be so happy. "Oh, I defeated this enemy. Tomorrow one more enemy will come." They'll be happy defeating that enemy. So the whole life will go like this. Instead of focusing on their own, spiritual life, they'll be focused on all kind of things. So I'm the Lord of everything. I'm the enjoyer. I'm perfect, powerful, and happy. I'm the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. But we know from all these examples that we saw, what happened to them. He is my enemy because Ravana lived in a golden palace. He had golden Lanka. What was lacking? Nothing. Hiranyakashipu also had so much power. But what happened to them? See, he is my enemy and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. Like this one, Kamsa. He thought he can just keep on killing his enemies and he'll become No, he'll become the perfect one. He'll become God. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. So much wealth do I have today, and I'll get more according to my schemes. No scheme will work when it comes to the Lord. If He changes, if it is all, they don't understand whatever they have is because of their own previous activities. Punya equals currency. One day Prabhuji was explaining this so nicely. If we said we have this much money, that is, we have that much money, we have this many things in our life, that is because of our own accumulated punya. That's all it is. Some blessings, whatever we have accumulated from our previous lives have just, they are all helping us to have this much money or whatever. Punya equals all that we have. That's it. So much is mine now and it will increase as future. They think they can just accumulate, they can do whatever they want. Only when things go wrong, they start wondering. Uh, that's why Kunti Maharani in her prayers, the very elevated devotee, her mention is in Bhagavatam. She says, "Oh Krishna, when we are in misery, we think about you more and more. Give us more troubles so that we're constantly absorbed in your thoughts." She prays like that. Please recite this one, Hare Krishna. Vanisha Mataji or Vrinda Mataji, who would like to recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. अनेकचित्तविभ्रान्ता मोहजालसमावृताः प्रसक्ताः कामभोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु शुचौः. Translation: Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So this person believes in his own strength. He does not think, I have to take shelter of the Lord. There is one very beautiful example, you must have heard of Trishanku. He was an ancestor of Dasharath Maharaj. He wanted to go to heaven in this body only. Just like that, how we are like this, we cannot go to heaven like that. We have to perform austerity, we have to collect enough punya, so much charity, so many things are involved. Only then, if we are qualified, they will send us to heaven. But he just wanted to go like how we take plane to another place, like that he wanted to go. So first he goes to Vashishta, sage Vashishta, and says, can you help me? And he says, no, it's not possible. You cannot attain heaven like this. You have to be pious and you have to be very religious. There is, that's the universal law. It's all established by God. You cannot do anything. Please, sorry, I cannot help you. Then he'll go to Vishwamitra. What he'll do to Vishwamitra? See, what is happening is Vishwamitra and Vashishta, they have some kind of cold war. He'll go to Vishwamitra and say, Vashishta cannot do this. When you go to enemy and say, your enemy cannot do this, then that person will definitely try to do it. And say, I will show my enemy that I am really capable. So Vishwamitra will say, oh, okay, he has this animosity, right? He'll say, okay, I can send you. So he'll use all through his austerity, whatever he's accumulated, punya, through that he will actually launch him to up to the heavenly planet. There, what will happen? Just like when foreign body is coming into our airspace, we'll wonder like, who is this? What is happening? UFO or what? Like that, they'll look at it and say, oh, somebody is coming. Just shoot him down. All this devatas over there, they'll kick him out of there. He can't enter heaven. He'll just fall down again. Then Vishwamitra will again launch him. This is happening. Then as soon as his austerity punya is ending, he's going to fall anyway. Once it happens, he launches him again. He'll tell him also, Vishwamitra. He'll tell, Indra will tell, why are you doing this? This is not possible. Why are you helping this person to come up like this? Then he'll say, no, I will try. Then finally what happens? Somewhere in the middle, he'll hang. He's falling down. The austerity, the punya is ended. The currency over zero. Now he can't reach earth also. Neither he could go to heaven or earth. He's hanging in between somewhere. Then Vishwamitra said, don't worry. I'll create one false heaven for you. And he'll create one false heaven, artificial heaven. It looks like heaven. He's enjoying everything, but who is alone? So, it's just not possible to go against the Lord's laws like this. So, demonic mentality this is to go to the higher planets without performing sacrifices, yagnas, like this. Without knowledge, proper knowledge, that's what will happen. So, gliding down to hell is easy, going upwards is not so easy. Let's see what's given here. Results of demoniac work, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by network of illusions. Demons will always be in anxiety, because of their own sins that they are committing. What is happening? There's no peace. They're always worried. What if somebody catches me? What if Krishna comes and what if Krishna is alive? What if he's going to kill me? That's what comes out thinking. Constantly thinking about Krishna, but not in a favorable way. That's how it was. So let's see. Next point, becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment. They cannot stop. They are so addicted. It is like addiction only. You can see there are rehabilitation centers in this world, right? They are helping people to come out of their addictions. That's all demoniac. Very difficult. Fall down to hell. But Krishna consciousness is very purifying. We can see from practical example how this, all these hippies and so many people got purified. They were eating all kind of stuff, living in a dirty life, but they all got purified. So Krishna consciousness itself is so purifying. The process is like that. Bound by network of hundreds and thousands of desires and illusions. So many desires, material desires. Okay, what examples it says? Okay, let's see. It's given here. Okay, anyway. Can someone recite this, please? Hare Krishna. Who would like to
Hare
recite?
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
आत्मसम्भाविता स्तब्धा धनमानदानान्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते दम्भेन विधिपूर्वकम् self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So there are people, what they do, they don't care for Vedic instructions. They don't care for any scriptures, authority like, Vyasa Muni, nothing. But they will be performing sacrificial rites, religious. They look very religious. Externally, they could do homa. They'll have some kind of deity also. But externally, it looks like they are doing something. They'll be preaching also. But they're actually misleading people because they're not talking about Vedic instructions or scriptures. They just mislead people, and people who are following them also will be misled. One blind man will, mislead all the others. Others also become blind. So blind men. That's how it will become. So Krishna also says there will be in this. This is given in the scriptures also. In Kali Yuga, especially, a lot of fake gurus will show up because we are learning everything from Prabhupada, who is coming in an authentic, bona fide parampara system. So that's how the knowledge should be acquired. Some self-created gurus will show up. So self-created gurus, they'll just show up. They disregard all kind of rules and regulations. They'll make their own rules also. This is all avidhi purvakam. That's what is given here. So that is stressed here. So that is all because of ignorance and illusion. And they'll have followers also. But we should be careful whom we are following. Hypocritical nature and preachings of demoniac world. Being self-complacent and impudent, they are deluded by wealth and false prestige. They proudly perform sacrifices in the name only without following any rules and regulations. Their hypocritical religious observances cannot save them. See, if that is not authentic, it's not going to save them, isn't it? Okay, please recite this one, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Who would like to recite? Vinda Mataji
Shall
or
I,
Manaja?
Mataji?
Oh, Lekha Mataji. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Yes.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च संश्रिता माम् आत्मा परदेहेषु प्रद्विषन्तोऽभ्यसुख्यका. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and in the bodies of others, and blasphemies against the real religion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So demons will be very attached to their own designations. I'm this, I'm that, they'll, this is my profession, I'm so rich. So this kind of attachment to their bodily relationships, body and, designations will not help them. They think they are independent of God. They're very powerful. They think they can do anything. So what will happen? This will actually help them to um, go downwards. Actually, it will not help them to advance. So it's all now here we see Shishupal. He was very envious of Krishna. Demons are like that. They're very envious of Krishna. It's like envy. Mataji says the definition of envy is I like what you have, but I don't like the fact that you have it. It's like that. See, Krishna, many people, several people like Pandavas, Bhishma, they all understand who Krishna was. Here in this image, Rajasuya Yagna is going on. They have made all the arrangements and then they chose Krishna for the beneficiary as a beneficiary. You see, they are worshipping Krishna here. Then what happens is Shishupal starts insulting Krishna. He says so many things. But Krishna is very patient. He is hearing without any protest. Like, a lion, when dog is barking, the lion, nothing, it doesn't bother. So like that, Krishna is very quiet, but there are some people sitting in that assembly, they don't like it. If anybody is blaspheming the Lord, if we cannot do anything about it, we should just get up and go away, they say. Otherwise, we lose all our pious, all this piety and everything. We will lose. We'll degrade ourselves to lower condition. So what happens? Some people just get up and walk away. Some people want to hurt this Shishupal. But then Krishna is very patient. He gives him 100 chances and then finally he'll behead him. 100 chances he'll give him. But he'll continue assault, uh, using very abusive language. And finally he loses his body. But what happens is he gets Sayujya Mukti. So whoever is killed by Krishna, they also attain liberation. So that's the mercy of the Lord. Krishna killed so many asuras, they all attained liberation. They all got liberation. Can someone recite this one, Hare Krishna? Tanaham.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
तानहं द्विषदक्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपाम्यजस्रमशुभान् आसुरीष्वेव योनिषु. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence into various demoniac species of life. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Demons are the lowest of mankind. They're full of lust. They are very hateful. They are unclean. They are violent and all this. Since they don't accept the supremacy of the Lord, what happens? They'll be punished in some way or the other. They'll be pushed into the same kind of womb again. So they have to take birth among demons only. So all the species we see, all the insects and all the animals, it's all that is not accident. They are there for a reason. 1 second, I'll mute. Okay. So wherever we are, whatever is happening to us, it's all because of what we have done, and it is for our own purification. Because the Lord is giving us a chance by putting us here. He is giving us a chance to purify ourselves so that we can enter Vaikuntha planets or maybe, Goloka or Vrindavana also. If you want this association, if you understand that's where we belong, and if you have that much sense, we'll definitely work very hard. We'll take our sadhana seriously and all that. Why is that it is so difficult to please the Lord? Because why we cannot go as we are? Because Prabhupada says if we are allowed to Vaikuntha planets now, we can see how much envy is going on in this world. Everybody is envious of other. Somebody buys a new something, the other person is envious. Somebody wins something, this person. There's so much competition, so much envy, so much. All this is not nice. This is all material, like all this is material activity. So what happens is if we show up all with all this kind of anarthas, if a person goes to Vaikuntha, he'll simply cause disturbance there also. That's why we are not allowed there. But as long as we understand we have to purify and we really purify, then automatically we can enter this, into the spiritual world. Otherwise, if we come back to earth as a human, we may be very, very fortunate to meet a devotee and again continue our Krishna conscious journey. If we go to lower planetary systems, we don't know what will happen. It's not like a boot camp. So God will give us opportunities to, purify. So there are many examples of this, like, why somebody was sent for purification. Nalakuber, Manikri, and so many examples are there in Bhagavatam. Please recite this one, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Asurim Yonim. Who would like to recite?
Shall I, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Asurim Apanna Muttha Janmani Janmani Mam Apratyaiva Kaunteya Tato Yante Adhamam Gatim. Hare Krishna. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demonic life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abnormal type of existence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. They are hellish. There are a lot of hellish planets also where people have to go through so much punishment. See, all this is unnecessary. But then what to do? They are not able to understand. It's all ignorance, illusion. They live like that. And this is why they are pushed down to all this kind of abominable type of existence. So they are put in the wombs of similar demons. So where we are actually pushed into a family, right? We don't get to choose, because Krishna appears wherever he feels like appearing, and Krishna sends his personal representatives, his close associates, because of his relationship with them. Rest of us are actually, we don't know where we'll take birth next, who is going to be our father, who is going to be our mother. We are not given the choice. So like that, if a person is very, very demoniac, this is what will happen. But most of us are very fortunate that we have come across, we have good families, we have come across Prabhupada's teachings and all that. So we should just think like, oh, good, at least I've got a chance to improve myself now. Fate of a demoniac, glide down to hell. All this information is there in Bhagavatam. There are such descriptions and there's no need to read that, but if it's very disturbing to read actually, they say. I haven't read all of it, but just a glimpse of the thing or few texts, that itself tells you what really happens in this kind of planets. It is not at all funny. So fate of demoniac, they glide down to hell. What never attains me means. What is the hope for them? Because God is supposed to be all merciful. Is merciful. See, the government has made all the rules for our own safety. Don't cross the road on the wrong place. Don't do this, do this. Don't go this way because there is something there. No, I'll go that way. It's my wish. People are like that. There is a board that says don't go. There is something, and they don't listen. They'll go hang there and fall into the ditch. What can the government do, right? They don't want to glide down and go to hell. So people who are not cooperating with the religious principles and all the prescribed duties they are not following, what will happen? They'll be put to test again and again like this. So just like government also has jails and prisons and courts and all, like that, the Lord also has put things in place because that's how it is. They need to be taught. So the demoniac nature, 21 to 24, section C. Please recite this one, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
21 text. Trividham narakasedam dwaram nasanam atmanaha kamaha krodhastatha lobhas tasmat etatrayam tyajat. There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. How does demoniac life begin? How does it even begin? Why did someone become a demon? So that is all because of lust. So he tries to satisfy his lust, and then anger, greed, lust. These 3 are gateways to hell. That's how they say, right? So that's why they are like this. They are just our enemies. Anger, greed, and lust are enemies. So it's very, very dangerous. So if you don't want to fall down, we know what we should be doing. We have to find good association. We have to read scriptures, follow all the rules, and try to chant, and we have to stay away. Anger is a weapon. We cannot say we'll become devoid of feelings and we'll become stones in spiritual life. That's not the point. We will still have feelings, we will still have desires, but all these need to be purified. Lust is perverted love for Krishna, they say. Material, anything we want which is not related to Krishna is nothing but lust. So that is just perverted love for Krishna. Love, if we want to love Krishna, that is fine. That's how it's supposed to be. If we have some attachment to something that we cannot give up, that is lust. So, and then anger also, it can be used as a service to Krishna. Hanuman burnt the whole Lanka, right? Nobody says, oh, that was a sin. How can you destroy somebody's kingdom? We are so happy when Hanuman takes his tail and burns the whole Lanka. Everybody's applauding, right? We're so happy because he's doing it as a service to Lord Ram. So like that, anger sometimes, this kind of activities is used as service to the Lord. So for our own sake, we must cultivate the divine qualities, and then tolerance is very, very important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says a devotee has to be very tolerant. Please read this translation, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. 16.22. The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
The more we are freed from lust, anger, and greed, the more our existence becomes pure. If a person is becoming free of lust, anger, greed, all this, that means he's actually becoming pure. That's what it means. So by following the regulative principles, whatever is given to our rules and regulations, whatever is given in Vedic literature, what happens is we become spiritual realization. That's what will happen. So that's the platform of Krishna consciousness. We raise ourselves to the platform of spiritual realization. So this is all possible by devotional service. So we become liberated. A person can become liberated even in the material world. Within this material body also he can become liberated if he is a pure devotee of the Lord. So it is guaranteed that a person becomes liberated if he is actually completely a pure devotee of the Lord. So Vedas actually help us. They give us all kind of prescribed duties so that we reach a stage of purification if we follow all that, and then we become liberated. They try to elevate us. But many people, they don't understand what the purpose of Vedas are. So how do we know if we are really progressing? Okay, we know all the rules, we're following all the rules, But are we really progressing? How do we know? Only a senior devotee or the spiritual master, he can only tell. Just like how in a classroom, a teacher can tell how the students are, which student is doing fine, which student needs to improve handwriting, which student needs to improve behavior, and how, different. She knows about different students. Just like that, a spiritual master also knows the disciple very nicely. Only a guru can tell if this person is making progress or no. So if we read Prabhupada's examples, and so many incidents are being narrated by all his very close associates, like the first disciples, direct disciples of Prabhupada, they have given so much information about how Prabhupada is to correct them and all. If you see that, we understand how they actually become whatever, that how did they reach that stage where they are so elevated today. That's because of his correction and his teaching, and they have learned a lot from him. So like that, only a senior devotee can tell whether the junior devotee is progressing or just making a show or whatever. That's the only way we can know our progress. Because spiritual life is not like material life, where we know, okay, I can spell this word, so I get 100 out of 100. It's not like that. Krishna is watching. 3 gates to hell: anger, lust, and greed. So please recite this one. We have 3 more slides, that's all. Then we finish this chapter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Ye Shastra Vidim Mutsridya Vartate Kamakarataha Na Sasiddhima Vapnoti Na Sukhan Na Parangatim. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So Shastras are guiding us. They are without any defect. Shastras are without any 4 principal defects, because we have defects. The human being has these 4 defects: imperfect senses, propensity of cheating, propensity of committing mistakes, and then being illusioned. All these defects we have, but Shastras don't have any defect. Whatever they give us, we have to follow. So all the great saints, acharyas, all these great souls, they all accept the rules and regulations given in the Shastras. They follow their guru's instructions very, very, perfectly. That's why they become perfect. So that's the only way. If we are not following, then, we'll also be degraded. So all the sages, they do so much tapasya for hundreds of years just to access Krishna. And Prachetas also, there are many examples in Bhagavatam. When Prachetas met Lord Shiva and asked how to become perfect, how do we progress and all, he taught them Rudra Gita, which is again glorification of the Lord. So to attain Lord Krishna, they did so much tapasya. They went underwater for 10,000 years, and then they did a very severe tapasya. So all this just to attain the lotus feet of the Lord. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been very kind. He says, just chant the holy name and you will have all the benefits. We just have to follow all the instructions given to us by Lord Chaitanya and his disciples. And then we'll reach the highest platform of spiritual realization. All this is achievable by the practice of devotional service. That's what Prabhupada says. Devotion means there is some activity. People say, I have so much bhakti, I'm a bhakta, but a bhakta will actually be performing some activities. Devotion is devotional service. There is always service. That's what Prabhupada says. Please recite this one, Hare Krishna. Tasma Shastram Prapanam Te. Hare Krishna. Who would like to recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I'll try. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya vyavastitau ज्ञात्वा शास्त्र विधानोक्तं karma kartum iharhashi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. So we have to stay in the mode of goodness and slowly evolve to the Shuddha Sattva platform. So am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes,
So we
Mataji.
have to we have to evolve to the Shuddha Sattva platform and be guided by a proper and bona fide spiritual master. This is Krishna and Balram taking instructions from their Guru Sandipani Muni. So 15th chapter states that all the rules and regulations of the Vedas are all meant for knowing Krishna only. So even Krishna is setting an example here by going and taking instructions from his Guru. You know, he learned everything very fast. So if one understands Krishna from Bhagavad Gita and he stays, becomes situated in Krishna consciousness and performs devotional service, that means he has reached the highest perfection of knowledge. That's what Prabhupada says. All the knowledge given in the Vedic literature is meant for this only, so that we understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna, and what are we supposed to do? Perform devotional activities for Lord Krishna only. Because Maya is also the material energy of the Lord and is constantly giving us trouble. Maya will keep on. If we are not serving Krishna, we'll be serving Maya. That's how it is. She gives us trouble. This threefold miseries that we face, some misery or the other. What are those? Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, Adi Daivik, right? These three miseries. If we remain in ignorance and passion, they'll constantly come and trouble us. These miseries will always be there. So all that is nothing but demoniac life. So we should, if we are in mode of ignorance and passion, what's going to happen? We know. And what do these demons do? They sometimes deride the scriptures. They make fun, ridicule the scriptures. They make fun of holy men. They they disobey the instructions of the spiritual master. They don't have any proper understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All this is demoniac behavior. So the easiest way, the easiest process is chant the holy name of the Lord, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as much as possible, purify ourselves, and follow all the instructions given to us by Prabhupada, and follow what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us, all the instructions given to us. So that's the way. So now we have reached the end. So what we understand is people, what Krishna is telling, all those who disregard scriptures and behave very whimsically, they do not attain any kind of happiness in this life nor in the next. They'll always be in misery. Okay? And those people who do not follow any scriptures, they are demoniac. So next chapter is about divisions of faith. See, now Arjuna is, after listening all this, he's very attentive, he's listening. He says, what about those people? Okay, they have some faith, but not in scriptures, not based on scriptures. They do follow something, but not based on scriptures. Unauthorized worship. What will happen to them? So Krishna is going to answer that in the next chapter. So what is the difference between the people who are divine and those who are demoniac? The difference is divine people follow scriptures, demoniac do not follow any scriptures. They don't have faith, no trust in the scripture or the holy men, nothing. That's the basic difference. So let's go over the summary again. 1 to 6, transcendental and demoniac qualities. 7 to 20, the demoniac nature. 21st to 24th verse, we see the choice, escaping to the supreme destination. So we must follow the scriptures, because following scriptures will elevate us, and if we disregard them, we'll be degrading ourselves to the hellish planets. So that's the message given in this chapter. So I'll stop this. We can actually discuss.